Hey guys, T-Glizzy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at all of the brand new dungeon weapons for Warlords Ruin, and we're going to be giving you your god roll guide for Season 23 when it comes to hunting these weapons out of the dungeon. So we're going to be taking a look at all 4 of the weapons that are available in Warlords Ruin, and again, I'm going to be giving you the god roll guide on these weapons and what I'm going to be hunting for while I am farming Warlords Ruin. So if you do go on to enjoy, please be sure to let me know by smashing that thumbs up button, but without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So before we dive into our god rolls, let's take a look at 5 brand new perks that made its way into Season of the Wish, and these perks are going to be found on our brand new weapons from Warlords Ruin. So for our first perk here, we have permeability, and this perk reads: class ability usage changes weapon element to match your subclass until stowed. Kinetic weapons lose their kinetic damage bonus in PvE, 10% on primary, 15% on special. Passively grants 5 handling. Next we have slice. Slice reads: casting your class ability allows this weapon to sever targets on hit for a brief duration, up to a maximum number of targets. Moving on, we have beacon rounds, which is going to be found on our brand new sidearm rockets. And beacon rounds reads: weapon kills grant projectile tracking for a number of seconds. Dealing damage extends the buff. So at the moment, we don't know the exact amount of seconds we'll be getting for this tracking buff for beacon rounds, but once more is discovered, if it is meta, I'll be sure to bring you guys a video. Moving on, we have deconstruct, and this perk reads: dealing sustained damage grants bonus damage against vehicles and constructs, partially refills the magazine. Damage with primary ammo or against constructs provides additional progress. Constructs include barricades, turrets, stasis crystals, and other objects created in the field. And then finally, we have attrition orbs, and this perk reads: dealing sustained damage creates a slightly improved orb of power. So now with our brand new perks out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the god rolls and what I'm going to be hunting for inside of Warlords Ruin. Be sure to let me know what rolls you're going to be going for out of the dungeon, because we all do have different opinions on what we consider a god roll. So for our first weapon here, we have Indebted Kindness, and this is a arc special ammo rocket sidearm. And in the third column, we have Lead from Gold, Impulse Amplifier, Offhand Strike, Enlighten Action, Loose Change, and Beacon Rounds. In the fourth column, we have Surrounded, Adagio, Volt Shot, Attrition Orbs, Deconstruct, and Permeability. So for the god roll and what I'm going to be hunting for on this brand new arc special ammo rocket sidearm, we're going to be going for down the third column beacon rounds, and then down the fourth column something like Volt Shot. That sounds super good to me, and honestly it reminds me a little bit of the exotic that dropped from the dungeon. The dungeon exotic is a rocket sidearm, and it does have tracking rounds on it, so it's something like beacon rounds, and then with a Volt Shot on it as well, you're basically making yourself a legendary version of the dungeon exotic. Moving on, we have Dragon Colt Sickle, the Strand Caster Frame Sword, and I actually did get this to drop from the dungeon. And in the third column, we have Tireless Blade, Assassin's Blade, Demolitionist, Unrelenting, Duelist Trance, and Slice. Down the fourth column, we have Whirlwind Blade, Surrounded, Chain Reaction, Golden Tricorn, Hatchling, and Attrition Orbs. So for the god roll and what I'm going to be hunting for when it does come down to this sword, I'm going to be looking for something like Slice. Slice is going to be absolutely goated when it comes to PvE and also for PvP. Being able to lower the output damage of your enemy is just something that's super overlooked inside of the game. So I think Slice is an amazing perk to actually slice on this caster frame sword. And then down the fourth column, I'm going to be looking for something like Surrounded, since I'm wanting to get in there with Slice and actually, you know, tap the target to put sever on the target. I think something like Surrounded would be really nice on this. You'll be getting that damage bonus because you're going to be surrounded by enemies if you're diving in to either sever the boss or if you're trying to sever a champion. Surrounded is something that I would be looking for on this sword. I would even be happy with something like Chain Reaction. Not only would you be lowering the damage output of your enemy, but with Chain Reaction, once you actually get that killing blow, you'll be able to possibly chain the reaction and get another enemy caught in that blast radius. So there are definitely some solid rolls on this caster frame. Again, let me know what you're going to be hunting for and what you consider a god roll on the Dragon Colt Sickle. So next we have Naeem's Lance. This is the Strand Rapid Fire Sniper Rifle, and in the third column we have Reconstruction, Keep Away, Hatchling, Discord, and Loose Change. In the fourth column we have Demolitionist, High Ground, Slice, attrition orbs, and deconstruct. So for the god roll and what I'm going to be hunting for, there's nothing really here when it comes down to damage, and there's nothing really here that stands out to me when it comes to PvP. But for something like PvP, since this is a sniper, I'd be looking at keep away, and then possibly down in the 4th column going with something like demolitionist, just so we could get our grenades back a little bit faster inside of PvP. But for PvE, I'd be looking for reconstruction, and then down in the 4th column, something like slice. If we're using a sniper rifle, I mean, again, putting several on a target is just amazing, and I can't get over the slice perk. So that's what I'm going to go with for my PvE god roll, is reconstruction and slice down in the 4th column. So moving on to our final dungeon weapon, we have Vengeful Whisper. This is a strand precision bow, and down in the 3rd column, we have hipfire grip, archer's tempo, explosive head, keep away, enlighten action, and slice. Down in the 4th column, we have successful warm up, offhand strike, hatchling, collective action, precision instrument, and high ground. So for my PvP god roll and what I'm going to be hunting for, down in the 3rd column, we're going to be going with slice. I'm going to make a complete separate video going over this perk slice and why it is just a game breaking perk when it comes to PvP. And then down in the 4th column, we're going to be looking for high ground. This is a easy damage bonus as long as we have a small bit of elevation over our enemy. So for my god roll for PvP, we're going to be going with slice and high ground. And then for PvE, we're going to be looking for archer's tempo down in the 3rd column. And then in the 4th column, we're going to be looking for successful warm up. And I just wonder how fast we're going to be able to stow another arrow with archer's tempo stacked up with successful warm up. So I'm super excited to get my hands on Vengeful Whisper. I'm super excited to get my hands on, honestly, all of these dungeon weapons. They all sound pretty good, and they have some interesting god rolls to them, and I'm excited to see how they're actually going to perform in game. But yeah guys, again, I'm going to be putting together a loot table for the Warlords Ruin dungeon, and hopefully you all are enjoying the dungeon on day 1. I'm going to be putting out a day 1 review of the dungeon here in the future, so keep your eyes peeled to the channel for that as well. But yeah guys, that's going to do it for me in this Destiny 2 video. If you did enjoy, please be sure to let me know by smashing that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe for more. And I being your boy T Glizzy, you've been my awesome viewers, and I'll see you guys in another. Peace.